When doing tasks like beauty work, the ability to quickly create up masks for things like skin, eyes and lips is absolutely crucial. Silhouette has an AI-assisted tool to do just that. Face ML. I'm Ben Brownlee for Boris Effects. Join me as we explore what we can do with this tool. So here's our first shot. And as you can see, it's maybe not the most easy of shots to do. There's lots of diffusion being put up in the front and the face moves around quite a bit. I'm going to come into our AI ML category and just use Face ML. And as soon as we put this on, we wait a couple of moments for the model to be loaded onto the graphics card, and then we get our result. If we look down in the node parameters here, we can choose what areas we're actually going to be interested in. So we have skin, we have the eyebrows, left and right, the eye, left and right, and lips, top and bottom. Have we had any teeth? We can see the teeth and the mouth and the beard. Her beard is not very prominent right now. And what this will do is it will automatically create up an alpha channel for us. So if I reset that, let's play this through and take a look at the result. So without us doing basically anything, we've got ourselves a pretty decent mask to be working on for the face. And you'll notice it's doing a pretty good job about ignoring all of the things that are floating in front of the camera as well. And we're getting a nice consistent result. Now the mask we get with this is always going to be a binary mask. So we're going to have very sharp edges, very sharp defined edges. So if we want to smooth this out a little bit, we can just use something like the matte repair. There we go. And this will allow us to do our blurring, our wrapping, and any sort of shrink grow that we want to do, just to sort of smooth out that a little bit more and make the transition for any of the effects we're going to place onto the skin that little bit more invisible. And if we take a look at this sample tree that I've got, I'll take the footage into Face ML, into Matte Repair, and then use that inside of Beauty Studio with a Bay matte, placing the matte into here. And on this second shot, I'll show you another basic tree as well here. So we have our main footage, again, going into the Face ML. Now with this one, I've actually got two matte repairs happening. So my first matte repair here is growing the mask out to fill in any gaps. And I've copied this as an expression reference, added this into the second matte repair, and then created a negative version of this by just pasting in, let's just do that here, we'll paste in the expression reference and multiply that by -1, so that we're shrinking it by the same amount that we're growing it. And this is a nice way of just filling in gaps. And at this point, I can then blur and wrap however I want to. So now we've got the Face ML section done. Over on the other side, I've got a very smoothed out version of the skin using Beauty Studio, like much more than you would want. So the quality of the skin is definitely moving into the China doll area, which I'm not a fan of. But here's a little tip. We want to maintain that nice skin texture. I'm going to pipe the original into an extract detail, and this separates it out into a color and detail layer. Then I'll take the output of the Beauty Studio into grain composite and the extract detail into the grain of the grain composite. And I can come in and adjust this to my heart's content. So I can make sure that we're still maintaining actual human quality skin. We're just smoothing stuff out. And then at the end of it, we're adding in some grain back into the skin itself, to make sure we're not losing the life in the original footage. The Beauty Studio, the grain composite, and the ultra grain are all using the matte from Face ML. Now here's a great time-saving tip if you want multiple objects coming out from your Face ML. So in this example, I have a Face ML hooked up for the skin. I have one hooked up for the lips. And I have one hooked up for the eyes and teeth. And all of these are going through into various elements here. So for example, if we come over let's come over to the start. We have the skin coming through the left-hand side, which is doing a colorize, and then a math composite to give it a little bit more of a suntan with grain composite. There we go, to bring in the detail back again. Boom, boom, and a glow, boom, boom, and of course compositing back using the skin so we only get the face being glowed up. And now we have the lips that are being recolored, and we have the eyes and the teeth, which are also being recolored with their own separate color correction. So if we take a look at the tree though, it's not the most efficient. We have a face ML for the face, we have one for the lips, and we have a separate one for the eyes and teeth. Now each time we run face ML, going to put pressure on your system resources. So how about this? I'm going to get rid of the connection there. So we're not going to process these out anymore. If instead of taking out individual mattes, what if I turn this into pipe this into a Cryptomatte, connect up the data ports. So a Cryptomatte node brings in all of those separate bits of data as separate objects, but it's only calculating it once. So here I can have a Cryptomatte for the skin. So all I have to do is select that there, and you'll see in my object list, we have the skin. If I do another Cryptomatte, let's bring that over there, and I'll just pipe the data port in from the original face mask, and this one will be the lips. So 1, 2, so I can shift select to make sure that I have multiple objects, and I'll do one more Cryptomatte, again from the original face mask ML, and this one will be eyes and teeth. So to be able to do this properly, I actually need to be able to select those objects. So here I'll come to a frame where I can find the eyes, I1, shift select, I2, and then if I want the teeth part of that, I'll come over to another part of the image and again shift select and find the teeth there. Now I can pipe these into the originals where they were going, into the original matte repair. And all of these masks are now coming from that one face ML going into the Cryptomatte to break it out into the separate object. So we end up with a same result as we had previously. But if we take a little look now, like each frame is taking about 280 milliseconds, and we compare it to doing it the other way, where we're doing 3 instances of mask ML, it's at least twice as long. The more efficient we can get with our node trees, the better it is for everyone. Now, if we have like an extreme close-up of a face here, then face ML might not be able to identify exactly what is going on here. So if we turn this on, we can see it struggles to find the skin. Will it find the eyebrows? Will it find anything? No, because it's just a little bit too close. It's a little bit more abstract. And smaller faces are going to work as well. But sometimes if the face is too small, then that's maybe not going to give you the enough detail that you want anyway, and you're best off sort of finding a different technique. If you want to see me go into any more detail about any of the examples we've seen in this video, then please let me know in the comments below. Or if you want to test out Silhouette for yourself, head on over to borisfx.com.